What did John Lennon say about the song?
Go ahead.
Quote, virtually the Communist Manifesto.
So that song actually is not about a woman. That song is the literal sense of that word, talking about a dog.
Broadcasting from Nashville, Tennessee, offering a glimpse inside the music industry, shedding light on things they don't want you to know, and exposing some of the industry's biggest secrets. You're listening to the Turned Up Podcast, presented by Real Sound Productions. Here are your hosts, Jake Jones.
Whoa, hang on. Yeah, we can't say that.
And Robert Venable.
Oh, headache.
Why do you have a headache, Robert?
No reason.
Did you stay up late last night?
I stayed up till 11 o'clock, which is approximately the time here in the Central Time Zone where the ball dropped in New York in the Eastern Time Zone, so I could convince my kids it was actually the New Year and I could go to sleep with a clean conscience.
I was in bed by 7:30, as usual.
AM?
AM.
That sounds about right for you.
Man, I have the worst insomnia.
It's true. I get texts from you all the time. Like randomly in the middle, I'll wake up at 6 in the morning, to take my kids to school or
As
whatever.
I'm telling you goodnight.
And you're like, hey, I'm up here working on this track. Why are you up? Way to hit the morning grind, Jake.
Yeah. I posted a meme recently that said, you're adulting, or you're finally an adult when 4 a.m. is early in the morning instead of late at night. I guess I'm still not grown up yet.
That tweet took off. It was featured in a moment on Twitter. I remember that.
Like thousands of retweets and likes.
Regardless, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome to 2018. It's 2018, but I'm seeing 2020, so let's get right into this one.
Boom.
I made that up. Sounds like a rap lyric.
That way it should be. Write that down, put that in your notes.
Okay. How do you spell?
How do you spell the number 20?
Is it hyphenated? Did we say 2018? 2018? 2018?
I remember wondering when it turned 2000 what we were going to call.
Are we in the O's?
Like, is it
thousands? The zeros?
Is it where we're going to be? Yeah. 2017, 2018, 2018.
I can't wait for 2020. I think that'll be a fun year. I don't know why. And then we'll be in the 20s. We'll be in the 20s again.
The roaring 20s.
Do we have any listeners who were alive in the 20s with me? What is this episode about?
I don't think that song means what you think it means.
It reminds me of the quote from Princess Bride.
That's where it came from.
Inconceivable! You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
Inconceivable.
I wish there was a song called Inconceivable, and then we could just reference that in this whole thing. But
the song is yet to be written. It's yours and mine for the taking.
Done and done. We're going to do this podcast episode about songs that don't mean exactly what you might think they mean. Kind of misconceived like concepts or meanings of the song. Not misheard lyrics necessarily, but this song, which we thought was a love song, actually means this. Or you were telling me about some fairy tales,
nursery rhymes.
Some nursery rhymes that don't exactly mean maybe kid-friendly things.
They're pretty horrifying. But first, sitting across from me in this beautiful studio is the lovely Robert Venable, who's got his moves like Jagger.
Oh.
He is an award-winning producer, engineer, songwriter extraordinaire. He's a drummer for the band As We Ascend. He is one of my best friends in the whole world. And something that I recently learned about him is that he likes to scoop out the peanut butter out of Reese's peanut butter cups and fill them with mayonnaise and bananas for an afternoon snack.
It's a lot better than it sounds.
It doesn't sound very good at all.
Well, it's not much better than that, but it's a little better than that, I guess. They're really good. You should try them.
No.
Jake Jones. The Jake Jones, producer, engineer, songwriter. This guy, I say it every week. I say it every single podcast. Multi-instrumentalist, can play all the things. Looking around your studio right now, there are guitars on my left, guitars on my right.
Hey, some of these guitars are yours now.
Oh, yeah, I do have a couple of guitars in here.
Picking up a new instrument, and you're a monster on the keys, too. I should have mentioned that.
I don't know that I can play. I feel like my fingers are too spidery for playing guitar. They don't wrap around the right way. We'll find out. You're going to give me lessons, right?
You know it.
I'd be honored.
Teach how to play Mary Has a Little Lamb.
Well, you probably weren't playing that song, but you're playing other songs when you used to play guitar in the band We As Human. But you are currently playing in the same band as I'm drumming for, As We Ascend, as well as you're singing for it. Don't want to leave that out. That's a melody from one of our songs. But here's something that you probably, as a listener to this podcast, don't know about Jake Jones, our faithful co-host. He also DJs at junior high dances, and he goes by the name DJ from Full House.
You're pronouncing it wrong.
I'm white.
It's DJ Waffle House.
Got it. Let me just autocorrect.
That's the German spelling. It's Hey Siri, beatbox for me.
Here's one I've been practicing: boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and boots and cats and
Does your
boots.
Siri have an
I can do
accent?
this all day. Cats and boots and 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 cats.
That's
What kind of accent does Siri have on your
my
phone?
first remix. She's British.
I wish she was Swedish.
Full House.
Let's go to IKEA. Oh, man. Okay, I think we should just jump into this episode.
We are diving in, and the first song that is not probably what you thought it was about. This one is painful. Three Blind Mice.
Three blind mice, three blind mice. See how they run, see how they run.
Right? Lovely little song. You might remember it. Robert, back when you turned 95.
It wasn't around when I was born.
Well, songs weren't around when you were born.
Right, there's just silence, and that's how we went to sleep.
This song, not about little mice at all. In fact, I think this is kind of interesting. Queen Mary I, she was Catholic, and England was mostly Protestant, and she didn't like that. So she brutally tried to convert the nation to Catholicism. She tried to completely expunge Protestantism.
How do you do that?
I don't know, but in the process of doing so, apparently you get a nickname, and in her case, it was Bloody Mary.
I knew that her nickname was Bloody Mary.
Yes,
I guess
Queen Mary
apparently
I.
forgotten why.
Bloody Mary. The song is about three noblemen who had plotted against her, so she had them burned alive at the stake.
And then someone decided to write a song about these three poor fellows,
Three blind mice.
these three Protestants.
Yep.
Wow, I guess that was a warning to the rest of the country. We're Catholic now, or else you're going to be the fourth blind mouse.
Four blind mice.
The number just keeps going up. It was 2 blind mice last week. What's another children's song? Like I've heard, like Ring Around the Rosie is about the bubonic plague, right?
Well, actually, so yes, that is the rumor, is that it's about the bubonic plague and the posies. They keep them in the pockets so that they didn't have to smell the dead bodies and that they would burn them. And that's what ashes, ashes, we all fall down means. But actually, no, the song came out way after that, 19th century, and most likely had more to do with the Protestant ban on dancing.
Whoa.
Teenagers would, as teenagers do, kind of found a way around this by doing what they called play parties, or so these play parties. They were ring games. I'm doing air quotes here, where they would sing these songs and dance around in circles.
Whoa.
And they weren't square dances, which were more traditional at the time, and so it was kind of like the way they got around that rule. So not 100% sure on that, but pretty sure that is actually where the song comes from, but definitely doesn't have anything to do with the Black Plague.
If you know the answer to this, shoot us a message, because that's interesting. What about Jack and Jill?
Oh man, Jack and Jill. Jack fell down and broke his crown, and Jill came tumbling after, right?
Typical woman.
Cut
that out.
It wasn't, unfortunately, it wasn't all of Jill. It was just her head.
What?
Off with her head. So it's rumored to be a euphemistic recounting of the deaths of French monarchs Louis VI and Marie Antoinette. So they were both beheaded. And then Jack and Jill becomes a nursery rhyme.
Whoa. In the time that these nursery rhymes, these children's songs were being written, I mean, were the parents there not at all concerned that this was, these little sing-songy type songs are all about beheading people and burning people at the stake?
Well, I don't know the answer to this, but I imagine they either A, weren't intended as children's songs in the beginning. I know a lot of them over hundreds or even thousands of years, their meanings have kind of evolved, some of the words, but also news didn't travel like it travels today. You didn't open up Google and see the front page and know about the beheadings. You just heard from your friend about this cute song, and so you sang it.
This is a warning to all of you children. Obey your parents.
All right, here's another one. London Bridge. Do you know about that one?
Well, I knew it fell down,
Well,
or it was falling down,
right?
according to the song. I don't know much
According to
about
the song.
it.
Well, so London Bridge, which has not fallen. So there was a legend or a myth that if you sacrificed a child and buried them into an architectural structure, it would keep the structure from falling down.
To keep it from collapsing.
Yep.
So they would sacrifice somebody's child, maybe like the foreman's kid,
I
or
have no idea.
just a kid.
So, legend has it, there is a child buried in London Bridge to help keep it sturdy.
You're on a roll, man, with these whole children's songs, nursery rhyme things.
Right?
I
Creepy.
see on our notes here that you have something about Humpty Dumpty, but I'm not really sure what you're talking about.
You know, Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
the big egg man that just falls off the top of a brick wall, and all the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't come put him back together again.
Was he an egg man or was he a man egg?
I think he's an egg man.
Humpty Dumpty is not about an egg man or a man egg at all. It's actually during the English Civil War, there was a large cannon that fell off of its base, its post there, and they couldn't put it back. And so the soldiers started singing a song about Humpty Dumpty.
So there's a big cannon up on a base that they had named Humpty Dumpty.
Apparently.
Hey, turn Humpty Dumpty to the left, 0.2 degrees.
Humpty Dumpty.
Sounds very English.
Maybe Humpty Dumpty just sounded better than Cannon 24.
You'd have to memorize all the names of the cannons.
Cannon 24 sat on a wall. Cannon 24 had a great fall.
Which one was Cannon 24? You know, Humpty Dumpty. Oh, why didn't you just say so? Well, let's put him back up.
I got one more for you.
Hit me.
Peter Pumpkin Eater.
Had a wife and couldn't keep her. That was easy. Next.
That song, can you guess what it's about?
Pumpkin eater had a wife and could not keep her. Put her in a pumpkin shell and there he kept her very well. Put her in.
Did he murder his wife?
He did, actually.
Whoa.
So, she was a trifling... No, she was...
She deserved it. Next question.
So Peter Pumpkin Eater's wife apparently was not faithful to him, so he murdered her, chopped her up, and stuffed her into a pumpkin.
A very large pumpkin?
Apparently a very large pumpkin.
Multiple pumpkins?
I don't know, maybe.
Was she a small woman?
Maybe.
She was when he was done with her.
Then he baked her into a pie. No, that's not how it goes. Yep, that is what that song is about.
Speechless after that one. I'm just picturing this guy cutting up his wife and putting her into a pumpkin shell.
I bet he had 99 problems and a cheating wife wasn't one.
Speaking of 99 problems, though, Jay-Z has the song 99 Problems, right? And I'm not going to say which one isn't a problem. But I bet you can guess the word.
We'll see how smart you are when the K9 comes. I got 99 problems, but
Whoa,
hang on,
okay,
hang
forgot
on.
about that part.
Yeah, we can't say that.
Definitely can't say that. That's a word that we do not want to say on here. So that song actually is not about a woman. That song is in the literal sense of that word, talking about a dog.
A female dog, in case you're not sure what word we're talking about.
So Jay-Z actually explained during a talk at the New York Public Library that the subject at hand here, that is not talking about a woman, it's talking about a canine unit that was looking for drugs in the car. That's a very hip-hop thing to do, or rap thing to do. Rap about a canine unit. So it's definitely not about a woman, but I guess you can sing that song about however you need to if you're the singing type.
If that's not your problem anymore.
Yeah, you can sing about it day or night, even at 3 a.m.
You know it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely.
That song was stuck in my head probably for a good decade.
Says, baby, it's 3 a.m., I must be lonely.
So Rob Thomas says you can actually, he said, well, here I'll quote. He says you can use it for whatever you want to use it for. But he admits that he wrote the song 3 a.m. about a time when he was about the age of 12 or 13, that his mom was fighting cancer.
Really?
Yeah, so if you go back and listen to that and think about it with that in mind, it makes sense.
Probably Matchbox 20's biggest song.
I think so. That's one of them.
Thought it was about a booty call.
That's what I think a lot of people thought it was about. But he says you can use it for whatever you want to. However, it's about my mom fighting cancer, so change your mind.
Right?
I don't know.
Sometimes songs like that, or knowing the meaning of songs like that, just kills the song for me.
Well, sometimes for me, it brings it back to life. So if it was a song that I didn't like previously, maybe I do like it now because I rekindled a love for the lyrics because I know what the songwriter or singer meant by them. Or sometimes it does kill it for me. You're right. That one's a mood killer. Do you know this song?
Every breath you take, and every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you.
Yeah, classic love song.
Every moon. It sounds kind of creepy.
It actually is very creepy. It's a song about a possessive and controlling stalker.
What?
Yeah, Sting, even the singer for the Police that sang that song, himself called the song, quote, very sinister and ugly.
Really?
Well, let's look into the lyrics here. It says, every breath you take, every move you make, every bond you break, every step you take, I'll be watching you. So Sting wrote the song in 1982, right after he split from Frances Tomelty, and at the very beginning of his relationship with Trudy Styler, who actually was living next door to him and Frances Tomelty at the time, who were married.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, so the split was a little controversial. The Independent reported in 2006 that, quote, the problem was he was already married, like I said, to actress Frances Tomelty, who just happened to be Trudy's best friend, since they lived right next door in West London for several years before the two of them became lovers. So the affair was widely condemned. Not a lot of people were really happy about that, as expected. So in order to kind of escape from the public eye and get out of people's, news feeds and everything at the time, Sting decided to take a little vacation to the Caribbean, where he started writing the song. And the lyrics are the words of a possessive lover who is watching every breath you take and every move you make. And Sting says, quote, I woke up in the middle of the night with that line stuck in my head, sat down at the piano, and had it written in half an hour. So the tune itself is generic, an aggregate of hundreds of others, but the words are interesting. It sounds like a comforting love song. I didn't realize at the time how sinister it is.
Well, it's a good thing she didn't chop him up and stuff him in a pumpkin.
Come on, Peter.
Peter.
Well, follow me over this way real quick.
Walk this way.
Taught me how to walk this way. She told me to walk this way.
Did you know that song was actually inspired by the Mel Brooks film Young Frankenstein?
No clue.
Yep.
Whoa, wait. I'm just picturing it now. Walk this way like Frankenstein.
Yeah. The title comes from a scene in the movie where Igor asked Dr. Frankenstein to walk this way, and the doctor, played by Gene Wilder, complies by imitating Igor's iconic limp.
And that's where the song came from.
So that's what you can think of every time you hear Aerosmith's Walk This Way from now on.
Literally written about Frankenstein and Gene Wilder.
Yep.
Whenever I think of Gene Wilder, I like to think of Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Willy Wonka.
Right? Which you can stay there until it's closing time. And then you got to leave.
So Closing Time, the song by Semisonic. Listen here.
Closing time. Open all the doors and let you out into the world.
Still love that song.
Closing.
I used to sing that song. I had a job in a restaurant, and we'd be there washing dishes in the back in the kitchen. And there was a radio station in Northwest Arkansas that would actually play that song about the time I was doing dishes almost every night. And it was just perfect.
Oh, man. Well, and I'm sure so many bars especially would crank that song at 2 a.m.
Because we all know that song's about the closing time of a restaurant. Or
Right.
so we were led to believe. Actually, that song is about being, the anticipation of fatherhood. It's
You're
about
kidding.
becoming a dad.
Really?
About the birth of a child. Yeah. Let me see here. I've got it right here in my notes. The song was written by Dan Wilson and said that the song is about, quote, being sent forth from the womb as if by a bouncer clearing out a bar.
Really?
So Wilson's girlfriend was pregnant at the time, and even though Wilson did not, consciously set out to write a song about giving birth, he stated, quote, part way into writing the song, I realized it was also about being born. And here's the telltale lyric on that one. Closing time for you to go out to the places you will be from. Closing time, this room won't open till your brothers or sisters come.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so it's all about, becoming a dad and your girlfriend/wife having kids, not about the bar closing. So it's a weird song if you think about it that way.
Really, you could say it's a total eclipse of the heart. Shaking your head. That was a terrible segue.
I liked that one.
So that song by Bonnie Tyler is Bonnie's most successful song.
I think we can all agree with that one, yeah.
At its peak, it sold 60,000 copies. Ready for this? Per day.
60,000 copies a day.
Yep.
That's a lot of copies of a song.
Approximately 6 million copies total.
Yeah, I remember that one hit number 1 on the Billboard and stayed there for a while.
Yeah. You know what that song's about?
A total eclipse of the heart.
It's a vampire love song.
Oh, wait. So we have Frankenstein, now we have vampires.
Yeah, apparently this one could have waited to come out till
Twilight.
Till Twilight, yeah.
I mean, it was ahead of its time. Well written.
So Jim Steinman, the producer, said in an interview with Playbill, quote, with Total Eclipse of the Heart, I was trying to come up with a love song, and I remembered I actually wrote that to be a vampire love song. Its original title was Vampires in Love because I was working on a musical for Nosferatu, the other great vampire story.
The other great one. I wonder what the first one was.
If anyone listens to the lyrics, they're really like vampire lines. It's all about the darkness and the power of darkness and love's place in the dark. Of course, the lyrics in that one that kind of give it away. Quote, every now and then I know there's no one in the universe as magical and wondrous as you.
Man, it sounds like vampires and stuff. Very like mystical.
Yeah, I think Edward would still be alive today.
From Twilight?
From Twilight, yeah.
He'd probably wreck his car if he were listening to this right now.
Yeah, if he did, he'd probably crash
into me, yeah. Good segue, Jake. Dave Matthews Band. Okay, so very soft and sincere love song. We all love that one. But it seems to distract some listeners from the lyrics that are actually kind of creepy. So Dave Matthews actually admitted that it is indeed a love song, but it's one that had been written from the perspective of a peeping Tom.
What?
Not lying.
You're kidding.
So if you look closely at the lyrics, the song is definitely a celebration of women, although...
That makes sense.
It's from like a voyeuristic point of view.
I've always wondered the line, hike up your skirt a little more and show your world to me.
Yeah, that's dirty, but yes, it's a guy looking through a window. At one point, literally standing outside of a woman's window watching her is what the lyrics are talking about.
Oh, it's terrifying.
Yeah, way to go, Dave Matthews Band. I'm still going to sing that song. I wish I was Carter Beauford playing the drums. Guy's a beast.
It wouldn't be as creepy if you were peeping on someone you were going to marry.
Like Bruno Mars, Marry You?
It's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Hey, baby, I think I want to marry you.
So that song, also, not a love song. Guess what it's about? Wrong.
I don't know. Getting married?
Nope, it's about boredom.
You're kidding.
You know, Bruno Mars actually doesn't want to get married, and he certainly won't commit to any solemn vows. Quote, it's a beautiful night. We're looking for something dumb to do. Also, another lyric, if we wake up and you want to break up, that's cool. No, I won't blame you. It was fun, girl. So this is not really about asking a girl to marry you. This is all about, I'm bored. Let's have fun.
Let's go get married in Vegas and we can...
If you want to leave, that's fine.
We can...
That's cool, girl.
Yeah, it's like, we'll go to Vegas, get married, annul it in the morning.
Annul it later, just who cares? Let's go to the Whitechapel with Elvis. Maybe get, say those vows and say, I will always love you. I think I'm going to let Dolly Parton and Whitney Houston sing that song.
Right. A lot of us know the Whitney Houston version, but that is actually a Dolly Parton song.
Which we covered in our episode
about covers
called Under
Cover. Do you know what that song is really about, Robert?
And I Will Always Love You. Maybe saying goodbye to somebody?
Well, yeah, kind of.
Okay.
It's about Dolly. Dolly wrote it about quitting her job.
The one that she had 9 to 5?
Yes.
Working 9 to 5.
It was a peace offering to Porter Wagner, the country band leader, TV star, Dolly's duet partner, and the man who had mentored her and helped her establish her career.
Yeah, they were pretty tight for a long time. Like Dolly and what's his name? Porter. Yeah, like Dolly and Porter were always everything together.
Yeah, well, they had that TV show. And the song states clearly that he had an emotional impact on her, for better and for worse, but it was time for her to go her own way. He reluctantly agreed on the condition that he would produce the song.
He's like, oh man, okay, fine, we'll split up as long as I produce the song.
Yeah,
it's interesting.
I bet he wasn't too upset about that for long.
Definitely wasn't upset once those paychecks started coming in. Definitely made it rain.
You mean so much that maybe there were some waterfalls?
Take a listen to that song. TLC definitely had a hit on their hands with that one. Actually spent 7 weeks at number 1 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts, giving their group their second U.S. number 1 song that they made. Also, the song gave them 2 Grammy nominations.
Oh, that song was huge. I remember arguing in, this will really date me, in like 4th grade, that it was a song about a guy named Jason Waterfalls.
Don't go, Jason Waterfalls?
Yeah, I'm telling you, that was our 4th grade minds is the best we could come up with.
Jason Waterfalls wanted out.
Apparently.
It's actually not about Jason Waterfalls at all. It's also not about chasing waterfalls either.
What is it about?
Well, it's about a lot of things. They covered a lot of issues in this short amount of time, this little 4-minute long song, such as promiscuity, HIV and AIDS, and illegal drug trade.
You're kidding.
Check out these lyrics. One day he goes and takes a glimpse in the mirror, but he doesn't recognize his own face. His health is fading, and he doesn't know why 3 letters, HIV, took him to his final resting place.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Jarrett Nolan of BMG noted that Waterfalls was the first number 1 song ever to reference AIDS in one of his verses.
Oh, wow.
So that song's a little darker.
I've never caught that line.
I don't really sing. I just sing "Don't Go Chasing Waterfalls" or "Don't Go Jason Waterfalls," as you would say. And I don't really know much of the lyrics because it goes too fast for me. I know my brother, who's probably listening to this, used to sing, "I get knocked down by an elephant. They're never going to keep me down. I get knocked down by an elephant."
I'll get knocked down by an elephant.
Why is this guy peeing all night?
He really had to go. He drank too much water before he went to bed.
He drank too much something. That's what that's exactly about. Right. But yeah, you probably shouldn't drive after drinking that much. You probably should get a ticket to ride. Like that one? Getting cheesy, but I'm taking it.
How about the Beatles song, huh? Ticket to Ride? Check it out.
She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. She's got a ticket to ride. But she don't care.
This song, I don't know why this is so funny to me. It's not about riding in a vehicle at all.
Not like a train ride or bus ride? Bus ticket? Train ticket?
Nope, not at all.
Okay.
So back in the day in Hamburg, where the Beatles got their first start,
earmuffs.
The ladies of the night had to carry a special card to say that they were STD free.
Wow.
And so the song,
wow. Yeah, let's not even touch those lyrics again.
That's their ticket.
Wow.
Ride.
Oh. Oh man. If this one stays in the podcast, we apologize. But we feel like you need to know the truth.
She's got a ticket to ride, but she don't care.
One of my favorite facts of this list today is about John Lennon's song Imagine.
Okay, I know that song.
Check this out.
Imagine all the people living
beautiful. It's got a great message. It's so humanitarian-esque.
Yeah, it's a very iconic song.
No more wars. Everything is roses and awesome.
It's like the perfect song for like a Grammys backdrop while they're showing the credits of all the people they need to thank and all that stuff, or doing their montage.
Yeah, so Rolling Stone named this song by John Lennon the third greatest song of all time. So Rolling Stone actually described the lyrics as 22 lines of graceful, plain-spoken faith in the power of the world, united in purpose to repair and change itself.
That's deep.
Right? I mean, could you say anything nicer about a song?
It's really deep.
What did John Lennon say about the song?
Go ahead.
Quote, virtually the Communist Manifesto. Yep. In fact, Jimmy Carter once said it was used almost equally with national anthems. It was praised so much. John Lennon laughing all the way to the bank. Once the song became a smash hit, he actually went on the record as saying, quote, because it's sugar-coated, it's accepted. Now I understand what you have to do to get your message across with a little honey.
Whoa.
Yep.
That's pretty profound.
Yeah, just people ate it up. People are still eating it up. It's still a huge song. And it was written, the author of the song, John Lennon, was like, it's just straight up communism. That's what I wrote it as. That's what it is. That's what it means.
And here we are, just everybody singing it. Born in the USA. That's another one. We didn't make the list with that one, but look up the meaning of that one. There are a lot of songs, actually, Jake, that in our research, you and I found that we didn't include in today's podcast because a lot of them were kind of repetitive. Like, okay, another song about drugs, another song about drugs, another song about, like topics that we didn't really want to dive into or couldn't explain to keep our clean rating on iTunes. But if you're interested, shoot us a message and we can give you some things to look into, or do your own research and let us know what you found. But I mean, there's a ton of them about drugs, some about like murder, some about abortion.
I'm sure we missed some songs.
Like Goo Goo Dolls Slides about abortion, Ben Folds Brick, The Verve Pipe, The Freshman. Like all those songs are all about that. And like there's so many things that we didn't cover that we could have. If you're an adult over 21 and you want to look up Tutti Frutti, look up that song and find out what it's about. Oh my gosh,
that one is horrible.
There's just things that we didn't feel right about talking about on this podcast. We pushed some boundaries, but man, I'm telling you, there's a dark world that hit Top 40 Radio.
Right? And here we are thinking, oh, it's such a, these are such cute songs or so funny or
we
fun.
Sing them to our kids as they're trying to go to sleep.
Dancing, right?
Here's one about 3 people who are burned to the stake.
Hi, little junior. This one's about how if we decide to build our own home someday, we're going to bury you in the cornerstone to make sure that it stays sturdy.
That'll be a very, very solid, sturdy house, though. Well, we covered a whole bunch of Christmas songs last week, or I guess it was 2 weeks ago now, in that podcast about all the Christmas songs, what they really mean, and the hidden lyrics and lyrical content meanings behind those. But we thought we would shed a little bit of light on the ones that we sing the other 11 months of the year.
Right.
So
since we don't have spring and summer carols anymore.
No more caroling, no more Halloween carols. So what are some of your favorite songs that might not mean what everybody else thinks they mean? I would love to hear them, and maybe we can talk about them next week on our episode as well.
Yeah, even our band As We Ascend has some songs that definitely are not what people assume they mean. They're like, oh, we figured it out.
Yeah, this is obviously about this.
It's fun, and sometimes I enjoy people not necessarily knowing what they really mean, because for me personally, like I said earlier, it can be really interesting to know what song is really about, but sometimes it's like when a song has its anonymity, you're able to kind of put your own spin on it and apply it to your own life.
Right.
Especially with love songs or what we perceive as love songs.
Oh,
now,
yeah, for
as
sure.
We're learning, that a lot of them aren't. It's like, oh, you can, sing the song to someone or send it to them now. You can gift them a song to their phone and say, oh, this is so cute. I love you.
It used to be mixtapes.
It's 3 a.m. I must be lonely.
Here's my playlist.
Right.
Here's my Apple Music playlist. Here's my Spotify playlist.
I got some mixtapes and CDs.
Dude, so as songwriters, you and I both know that when we're writing, like you said, you kind of write with a generic sense that it can apply to the most amount of people. Like, you don't want to write, you when you're wearing those blue leopard shoes and your orange socks every day with one earring in, and You have a runny nose every day. Like, it's very specific. And who can relate to that? But you know what I mean? Like, when you wear those shoes, if you say that instead.
Hang on, I'm still writing those lyrics down.
Oh, yeah, but those are my lyrics. But when you you make it generic, more people relate to it. I learned a lot. That was fun.
Yeah, man.
What was your favorite one?
My favorite one was Aerosmith's Walk This Way. I think that is so funny that this song is about a movie, a funny movie.
I didn't know that I Will Always Love You is about quitting a job. I thought that was the most interesting to me. Besides, I was going to say Walk This Way, but you just said it, so I didn't want to seem like a copycat. So I went with my second place.
Sorry, I stole your idea.
Well, dang it.
Man, huge thank you to Robert Venable for your research into this topic.
Yours too, Jake. This is going to be mixed and edited by you, Jake Jones.
Huge thank you to Real Sound Productions.
And thank you, driving in your car, bathing under your armpits right now, scrubbing those clean, or walking the dog, sitting on a bus, whatever you're doing, for keeping us at number one over the Christmas holiday. That was kind of cool to see. On Christmas Day, that's number one podcast charts.
Yeah, absolutely. And our new friends in India, and of course our friends in Bangladesh.
And our friends in Canada. Who are our other? We saw a whole bunch of new friends pop up as in tracking, where you can see where people are hitting us from, and pinging our podcast and listening to it
all over the world. Russia,
I think we have Aussie friends,
UK.
Okay, everybody. We got them all. We have all the friends.
Although, if you want to make the friendship official, hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram
at Turned Up Podcast or / Turned Up Podcast on Facebook
or turneduppodcast.com. Thank you so much again, keeping us number one. Make sure you come back next week for another awesome episode of the Turned Up Podcast.
We'll be here. And once you do make our friendship official on the Instagram and Twitter and Facebook realms, please change your Facebook status to It's Complicated or in a relationship with Turned Up Podcast. We'll take it. We just want to know that we're official, please.
It's not official till it's on Facebook.
But until next week, this is Nashville signing out.
Peace.